wine of the week this week is a Viognier. It's an interesting variety. At one point it had almost disappeared, confined to just a few small hectares of the grape variety in the northern Rhone of France. Part of the reason it had died out, I think, was because it was made often in very blousy, rich style. It's a grape which naturally has low acidity and high sugar. So when you ferment it, you end up with a wine that had 14.5%, 15% alcohol or more, and not enough acidity to balance. So it fell out of favour, but for some reason there has been a real revival of it. There's now a lot of Viognier about, not only in France, but in Australia and California and South Africa and in many other places. This example comes from California. It's the Cline family Cellars North Coast Viognier 2022. It sells for £17 per bottle from Woodwinters. The address is just down below. There are quite a lot of independent merchants stocking this. I'm going to put a long list at the end of the video. Now, a lot of people these days are making Viognier in a much more restrained style, picking the fruit early, so that you end up with wines with only maybe 12.5% alcohol, 13% alcohol, which is very different from the kind of traditional style. I'm pleased to say that Cline is one who has bucked that trend and is still making a kind of full throttle, full on style of Viognier. I like both, but there are so many Viogniers which are very kind of polite, very restrained, very fresh. It's good to see one like this which is kind of really much in your face. So on the nose, I mean, a soaring bouquet of rich honey, apricot, flowers, spices, all sorts of things going on here. It's extremely kind of rich and full and unctuous. And then on the palate, well, with 14.5% alcohol, this has texture and weight. It has richness, but thankfully it has really good acidity too. It's not a wine which is flabby or cloying the way that it might be with that recipe. This one has been beautifully made by Cline, a kind of Viognier specialist, or rather a Rhone variety specialist there in Northern California. And I think it's a beautiful example of the richer style of Viognier that is actually kind of disappearing a little bit, just like those big golden buttery Chardonnays disappeared. So the wine, it is the Cline family Cellars Viognier from the north coast of California, priced at £17, and it is my wine of the week.